Jesus went to Sanhedrin, tried, and then he went to Pilate. Gospel Luke, Jesus went to Sanhedrin and then went to Pilate, and Pilate sent Jesus to Herod, and then Herod sent Jesus back to Pilate. John's Gospel is Jesus arrested. First went to the Anna, the father-in-law of Caiaphas, then went to Sanhedrin, then went to Pilate. So there is a little difference. Gospel Mark we are studying, we concentrate Jesus' trial before Sanhedrin and Jesus' trial before Pilate. So the core main point of trial is Sanhedrin and Pilate, the Roman court. So today we are going to study trial by Pilate. Question 1.
When did the Sanhedrin reach a decision of the trial of Jesus? I think it's after
Verse 1.
After Peter disowned Jesus, and I think that they concluded.
Yeah, very early in the morning. So very in the morning they reached the decision. Jesus guilty of death sentence. So maybe they had a little recess and then met again and early in the morning, trying to show people they had a court, not during the night, but early in the morning, trying to show people. What was his crime?
Blasphemy.
Right, blasphemy. Because Jesus said, I am the Christ, I am the Son of God, and I am. The high priest tore his clothes, blasphemy. So that was the Jesus' crime. Question 2.
What was the crime of Jesus which they presented to Pilate? 15:2. Are you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate.
So
Yes, it is.
what's the crime of Jesus?
Jesus identified himself as the king of the Jews.
And then when you look at Gospel Luke, chapter 23, verse 2.
And they began to accuse him, saying, We have found this man subverting our nation. He opposes payment of taxes to Caesar and claims to be Christ, a king.
Yeah. So they presented to Pilate the crime of Jesus is king. political king.
Yeah.
You know, they bring Jesus. He deserved to die because of he insulted God, blasphemy. By the Roman law, there is no death penalty. Yeah. So it has to be beaten, for the Roman law. And then they trying to make Jesus king who is opposing Caesar. They're trying to make it that. So they have trying to make Jesus' image as a political king. Really, the high priest, very, very wicked, very wicked. Question 3.
What authority, power, and responsibility did Pilate have?
Okay.
Yeah. He is the Roman governor and he is the judge. This is now court of Caesar, court of the Rome. Why they brought Jesus to Pilate? Because the Jews, they don't have
Execution?
uh-huh,
Crucifixion?
they have no authority to carry out death sentence. They can give a death sentence, but they cannot execute. So it has to be approved by the governor, Roman governor. So they need Roman governor's approval. And the Roman governor has to try and find guilty, then they can execute Jesus by the Roman law, by the Romans. Pilate, he is the judge, as a governor, as the judge. He will lead the trial. Why is the judge? Why is the governor? Because God gave him position as the judge. God gave him, mayor, governor, president, they all elected because God gave them. And then why God gave him position as the governor? Because God wanted him to do the fair trial. He has the power and responsibility. What is his responsibility when he's open up the Roman court in there?
To be fair.
Yeah, to give a fair trial. I mean, the Jews at night, they tried at night and all this like a scheme. But Roman trial, it has to be really based on the law. It's very fair. So Pilate, he has authority, power. If a judge said yes, it means yes. Judge says no, it means no. Judge said innocent, guilty, not guilty. He has that power, authority, and he has responsibility to lead the fair trial. I think he knows. Yeah? Pilate, he knows.
He's saying he knew because they envy him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they brought Jesus
Yeah,
to Pilate.
right.
So he tried to release Jesus Christ because there's no guilty.
Yeah. So even in John chapter 19, verse 10, Pilate said, I have power to free you or to crucify you. Pilate said to Jesus, I have a power either to free you or to crucify you. So Pilate, he knew he has that authority and power. When we go to court, there is trial and then plaintiff, defendants, lawyer, both sides lawyer, they argue and then bring evidence. Finally, verdict, yes or no. And Pilate has that authority to figure out Jesus is guilty or not guilty. If he's guilty, Jesus must die. If he's not guilty, Jesus must set free. And that's how Pilate has that responsibility and authority. Question 4.
What did Pilate ask Jesus? Verse 2. Are you the king of the Jews? And what did Jesus answer? Yes, it is as you say.
Yeah. Jesus said, are you the king of the Jews? Yes, it is as you say. Who is the king of the Jews at that time?
Herod.
Yeah, Herod. But Jesus said, I am as it is you say. So Jesus answered his identity in Gospel John. My kingdom is not of this world. My kingdom is from another place. Jesus is King of heaven. Heavenly. King of the heavenly kingdom. That's his identity. I'm right now reading a book, Boksoon martyrdom. And in there, during Roman period, one Christian was arrested, and then the Romans asked, what city do you live? Who are your family? All this, who are your friends? He didn't say anything. What's your name? He didn't say anything. Only answer was, I'm a Christian. That's the only answer he gave. And of course, he was killed. He became a martyr. But like Jesus, when I read it, I remember Jesus in the court. He only accepted, approved, I am the King of the Jews, as it is. Question 5.
What unusual attitude did Pilate find from Jesus? For 5. So again, Pilate asked him, aren't you going to answer? See how many things they are accusing you of. But Jesus still made no reply, and Pilate was amazed.
Yeah. I mean, so many things that the Jews accused, but Jesus didn't say anything. No answer, no defense. And then, Pilate saw all these prisoners, they eagerly trying to defend themselves so that prove that they are not guilty. That's all he saw. But Jesus, no answer. He was just listening, and he did not defend himself at all. And then Pilate was amazed. Why he doesn't answer anything? Only listening. Jesus was like a lamb led to slaughterhouse. He was silent like a lamb. Isaiah chapter 53. So unusual, Pilate was amazed by Jesus' attitude. Question 6.
After interrogation of Jesus, what did Pilate find out?
Let's open Gospel John. chapter 18 and 19. Chapter 18, verse 38, last sentence.
I find no biases for a charge against him.
Yeah, basis.
Basis.
I find no basis. I mean, Pilate cannot, give a death sentence to Jesus because he said, I'm the king. Oh, king? What king? And no soldiers, no base, no weapons, no rebellion, no evidence. Only Jesus said, I'm the king, that's all. And because of that, Pilate cannot, give him death sentence. Okay, so John chapter 19, verse 4b.
I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no basis for a charge against him.
Yeah. I find no basis for a charge against him. Nothing. Nothing to charge. 19:6. See?
I find no basis for a charge against him.
Yeah, Pilate keep on saying to the Jews, there is no ground, there is no evidence, no clue. I don't find any guilt in Jesus. He keep on repeating to the Jews. And then Gospel Mark, come back to Gospel Mark, chapter 15, verse 10.
Knowing it was out of envy that the chief priest had handed Jesus over to him.
Right. Pilate figured out as a politician and as a governor, he figured out the situation. Jesus was an innocent man, but because of envy, jealousy, they brought this man. They want to kill him. Pilate found out the truth. Out of envy, they were trying to kill this innocent man. He saw it. So that's the fact Pilate found out. Question 7.
As the judge of the Roman court, what should Pilate do when a prisoner was innocent? Release him.
Release him. That's what he should do. He found out after all this trial, he found out Jesus was innocent man, not guilty. So if he's not guilty, he should be released. He should be set free. And Pilate has the power to release Jesus. He has authority to release the Jesus. And he has responsibility to free Jesus. People really celebrate when they become judge or governor but there is a heavy responsibility to carry out. Jesus is not guilty. He must free him. He must release him. That's his job. Question 8.
Why couldn't he release Jesus if he was not guilty?
Yeah, why couldn't he release Jesus?
But the chief priest, 11, but the chief priest stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead.
Yeah. He's a governor. And that Pilate politics play here. He's in Rome, there is a Caesar. And then he cannot control the whole world, right? So they assign the governors or kings like that, or generals, kings, or they all must work for Caesar. So Caesar wants them capable. He wants them control this region, control this area. They want to King Herod control this area, Galilee area. Other kings, Caesar give them position. Caesar gave Pilate governor position with a job, rule this area. But if there is a riot, and then the Jerusalem is so famous, notorious. If there is a riot and Caesar here, there is a riot in Jerusalem, what do you think Caesar will think?
Governor cannot handle this job.
Right. He is incompetent as a governor. They will call him, replacing him. So Pilate he's well aware of that he has to keep this area under control. And it's related for his own political career. So in order to maintain the place in order, what he has to do?
Fulfill people's desire.
Yeah, he has to please the Jews. I mean, a lot of history says he persecuted the Jews a lot. But in this case, Jesus' trial, he trying to please the Jews so that Jews may not, start riot. That's why instead of giving the verdict, Jesus not guilty, he tried issued Jesus is not guilty. He found out. Then he should release Jesus, free Jesus. But he cannot do it because of his own political situation. So he chose to do free Jesus, at the same time please the Jews. At the same time, instead of doing this, he chose to do this. It's like a win-win situation. Okay. Question 9.
Why did Pilate attempt to free Jesus? Do you want me to release you the King of the Jews? Asked Pilate. Pilate asked him, knowing it was out of envy that the chief priest had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priest stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead.
Yeah. So every Passover feast, Pilate released one prisoner, and then, do you want me release the king of the Jews? He asked. And the Jews answered right away, no,
Crucify him.
Barabbas. So he failed. He's the win-win situation policy failed. Okay, question 10.
Okay. What does chapter 15, verse 12 show about Pilate? Verse 12. What shall I do then with the one you call the King of the Jews? What shall I do? Pilate asked them. What was the response of the Jews? Crucify him.
I mean, at this point, seems like Pilate was lost. He himself lost. What should I do? And then crowd say, crucify him. Because he has no firm basis, no firm foundation himself. How come the judge asked the
crowd,
what should I do? And they say, we want you crucify him. This
Right.
is not trial.
Right. Usually judge decide everything.
Right, yeah.
Court.
Uh-huh. And it shows Pilate, he had no truth in him. He just so swayed. How can he ask plenty? How can I ask the Jews, what can I do? And they said, kill him. Okay, question 11.
What did Pilate say to the crowd? 14. Why, what crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, crucify him.
Yeah. I mean, he said, why you wanna kill him? Why should I kill him? What crime has he committed? He keep on saying, we read in the Gospel John, he keep on saying to the crowd, this man, I don't find any evidence. I don't find any crime in him. But the crowd is no way. He tried to persuade them, trying to say, I mean, some educated people, you say, in the law, it says so, and people accept it. Yeah, in the law, it says so, we cannot do it. But this crowd is no use. Pilate bring Roman law. There is no crime in him. We cannot kill him. But the crowd just say, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. The reason, logic, law didn't work with these people because they are full of evil, wickedness. And then Pilate tried to explain to them reasonably. Come on, this man didn't have any crime. Why you wanna kill him? It didn't work. The power of wickedness saw and all the crowd shouting, crucify him, crucify him, like that.
I think Pilate lost his authority as a judge.
Yeah, I mean, that I trying to study today because Pilate, he lost his own authority, power. He has. He trying to get approval from the crowd. He trying to persuade the crowd. but it didn't work. The crowd, the evil power, cannot work that way. Okay, question 12.
What point did the chief priest make in this trial?
Gospel John chapter 19. Actually, I say Gospel John was very in detail.
From then on, Pilate tried to set Jesus free, but the Jews kept shouting, "If you let this man go, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who claims to be a king opposes Caesar."
Yeah. Now they are attacking Pilate loyalty. So how do you think Pilate feel? Fear that he may lose his job. Because true, in history, the Jewish people send the delegate to Caesar to complain about governors. They are such people. They did. They sent the delegate, the governor doing such and such and wrong like that. So they can send the delegate to Caesar. There is a king of Jews, and then Pilate sided with him. Pilate released him like that, and then Pilate will be in danger, great danger. So when Pilate heard this, high priest saying this, wow, his heart was trembling. I'm in a danger. Okay, and then verse 15b.
"Shall I crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the chief priest answered. Wow, they become so loyal to Caesar.
Caesar, yeah. But even though we live in this world, who is our king? Yeah.
Jesus.
Heavenly Father, Jesus is our king. Yesterday I watched America's Got Talent. 5-year-old girl. She's just 5 years old. Little girl. She says she has Jesus in her heart. In front of whole America, she said Jesus in her heart. Jesus is our king. And then God's people know only God is our king. But high priest said, Caesar is our king. So this is really threatening Pilate career. It's dangerous. Question 13.
What was Pilate's final decision? Crucify him. He handed them over to them to be crucified.
Yeah. He releases Barabbas and decided to crucify Jesus. He yielded to evil power. He surrendered to evil power. Question 14.
If you were in the position of Pilate, what would you decide about the prisoner Jesus?
Okay, I'll ask each one of you. If you are in the position of a Pilate, you are the judge, what would you do in this trial? When you promote to governor, celebrate and have a party and, then you got the job, Jesus trial. So how would you?
I follow the truth because the truth will be revealed always.
So you're gonna release Jesus?
Yes, of course.
then the Jews high priest will send a delegation to Caesar, and Caesar will call you back to Rome, ask you a question.
Yeah. I don't really think further.
Okay. All right. You're gonna release Jesus. Okay. How about you? If you are the judge, what are you going to do? High priest threaten you. You are not friend of Caesar. We have only one king, Caesar.
It's a really hard situation. Yeah, I may lose my job and it will affect my family as well. But I think I will release Jesus because he has no guilty. Okay.
How about you?
It's very hard. It's a hot potato. Do you know a hot potato?
I don't know.
Hot potato is like you want to eat. It's very hot. It can burn you. So it's like hot potato. It's, if he passed this kind of big trial smoothly, he can be promoted. Pilate can be promoted, and then if he, fail this situation, and then he can really lose his job and his not life. I think life. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where.
Run away. There is no judge.
I don't know where.
Run away. The high priest will chase you.
No, I'm not gonna decide. Let them decide.
I think judge is a very hard job. I think that they must give a fair trial.
Yeah. Judge has to have a fair trial. Okay. Question 15.
Pilate had the final authority. What did he fail?
Why did he?
Why did he fail?
Pilate had final authority to free Jesus or to crucify Jesus. He had final authority. No matter what, they say, crucify him, whole city shouting. But it was Pilate. He has authority. God gave that authority to decide to free Jesus or to crucify Jesus. Why did he fail?
He saved himself. In this situation, he tried to save his position. He tried to save himself. He couldn't see. He actually saw Jesus is innocent. He saw everything. He tried to convince the crowd that he's innocent. Jesus is innocent, but he had a fear. He had the fear of the crowd and all the position what he had. So he tried to, instead of try to save the person, innocent man, he tried to save himself from this crowd.
He wanted to free Jesus and also not to offend Jesus, Jews, not to offend the Jews. He wanted to accomplish this too. So I would say this is a win-win situation. Win-win situation. Very popular in I like also. In many cases I seek to be win-win situation. But he lost. Pilate lost. And then truth. Through this study, I found truth is you choose to the truth, as Shepherd Johnny said,
You cannot
Truth.
satisfy both.
then you cannot hold this faith. Truth. In order to carry truth, you have to choose only one thing. Only one. You can choose only one. Truth. Choose only one. Only one. Truth. The rest, leave it to God's hand. The rest in God's hand. Leave it in God's hand. Apostle Paul said, whoever wants to follow truth, there was suffering, persecution. You cannot do it all. So, Shepherd Johnny said that his answer was right. Jesus is innocent, just free him. That's truth. And the rest in God's hand. Caesar may call you back and then send you exile or put into prison. But we can do only one. The rest, let it go. Only one. That's how we can carry the truth. But Pilate, he want to do win-win situation. He killed truth. He killed the truth. Just do only one thing. What is truth? The rest, leave it in God's hands. You may lose your job, you may lose your position, or you may lose everything, but only you can do one thing. And also it shows, he cannot reason the evil power, the Jews, high priest, the evil power. You cannot win with the reasoning. You cannot. Pilate miserably failed. He surrendered. Okay. Today's Bible study is up to here, and we will